Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Ripple ex-CTO says low XRP price makes it more expensive to use for payments and exchanges. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, so we're talking about David Schwartz here, and he's really been on fire recently. Like, he's dropped two things here, and one of them I've already covered in a separate video, and that was about XRP's price going to $50 or $100. So I'm not sure which one's going to come out first. Probably the $50 to $100 one more than likely. But yeah, we've got this one as well. And what we're basically doing here, we are actually revisiting an old topic, and it's the old XRP cannot be dirt cheap thing, right? And this is something that obviously a lot of people have been talking about for the longest time, and I've covered this on my channel a few times, and David Schwartz did say that this has been taken out of context, but he's given a bit more context to it now. And so I do want to obviously just go off of the back of this and just add some more thoughts onto it, just to clear up, again, what was really a misunderstanding. So let's get into it then. So first and foremost, we've got the tweet here by someone called What a Mess 2021. Now, this is basically off of the back of the $50 to $100 conversation. So David Schwartz has spoke about XRP possibly going to $50 to $100, and he basically said that while he doesn't think it's likely that will happen, he couldn't rule it out. I'm not going to talk on that for this video because I've gone into it in depth in another video, so we're going to put that to the side now. But he basically said he doesn't think it's likely XRP could reach $50 to $100, but he couldn't rule it out happening, right? So he's saying he doesn't think it's likely, but it's possible, right? Okay. So we then have here What a Mess 2021, and he said, I thought you said it can't be cheap. What does that mean? So David Schwartz replied and said, it means that a low price for XRP actually makes it more expensive to use for payments and exchanges. Okay, so let's get into this then. So I'm sure the majority of you guys who are regular XRP viewers, etc., know this, but I'm going to go through it again for people who might not be as privy to this information. So I'm going to explain this and then I'm going to discuss it further. So, why a low XRP price can raise costs. According to Schwartz, when XRP is priced lower, users need a much larger number of tokens to move value across the network. This increases friction for payments and exchanges, especially at scale. In contrast, a higher XRP price allows the same value to be transferred using fewer tokens, making transactions more efficient. Specifically, it requires roughly 1 million XRP to move 1 million in value if XRP is at $1. However, if XRP were at $100 per coin, it would require only 10,000 tokens to move the same $1 million. In other words, price and utility are closely related. For large payments, using millions of XRP units can create market impact, while higher prices reduce the number of tokens required for settlement. Okay, so just going to read this last part as well. Notably, this is not the first time Schwartz has addressed this topic. In July 2024, with XRP trading below 40 cents, he reiterated that his original position, that XRP cannot remain dirt cheap, had not changed. Higher XRP prices tend to align with deeper liquidity, which ultimately makes payments cheaper and more efficient. Lower prices, on the other hand, require more tokens per transaction and constrain markets during large transfers. At its core, Schwartz's argument is not about price predictions but about utility. His stance remains that XRP's role as a bridge asset benefits from higher valuations because they reduce friction, improve liquidity, and lower the real cost of moving value across the network. Okay, so finally we're starting to have people acknowledge what the reality is of this situation. So, okay, let me go back to the original post of XRP cannot be dirt cheap. The reason why a lot of people got this misconstrued is David Schwartz was actually replying to someone. So basically, someone had written a tweet, but the problem was that post or that person, their Twitter got deleted. So you couldn't actually see what David Schwartz was replying to. So you'll notice that he had either in stars or in speech marks, it cannot be dirt cheap. And he was responding to what someone else said. And then he put, that doesn't make any sense. So what he was then explaining is that, yes, if XRP is at a higher price, it's going to be more efficient for payments. Yes, we all agree with that, absolutely. But what he didn't say is that it has to be a high price for this to happen. He was not saying it in the sense of, this is a guarantee here that XRP is going to be raised in price. No, he was just saying, look, this is how it works. If XRP is $10,000, for example, it can do payments a lot more efficient than if it was $1, because it's not going to require as many tokens. It's going to make it more efficient. It's just that simple. He was never saying it as like a matter of fact that, hey, XRP can't be cheap, so we're going to have to raise the price. No, he's just saying this is how it works. So their plan for Ripple was to try and get as much value into XRP to make it as efficient for payment as possible. It didn't mean they was going to fix the price. It didn't mean it was guaranteed to get to $10,000. He was just giving you basically a quick overview of how this all works. And so he's saying here, his statement's not changed. Yeah, absolutely. I completely agreed with this the whole time in terms of the essence of what he's saying. But what's happened is influencers have taken that post and they flipped it into something completely different, as if to say that David Schwartz was making out like the price will have to go up, like it just has to, it's going to happen. No, he's just saying this is what would make it the most efficient to run at its most optimal, like its most optimal position. That will put it in its most efficient position for payments. But what you've got to understand is like, this was on the hope of XRP being hugely successful, widely adopted and stuff like that. You've got to understand that Ripple have changed their business stance a lot since then, since way back then. So even back then, David Schwartz might have been thinking, yes, if we can get all these banks on board with XRP, then, yes, the price is going to go up. I'm not saying $10,000, but just saying, the price will go up, and XRP will be a higher price, and they'll make it more and more efficient as more people get on board, making XRP at its most prime efficient position to do payments, right? And so, I think as time has passed, I think Ripple themselves have realized, David Schwartz also said this, banks are not going to be Ripple's success story. I think he's just started to realize, okay, this isn't going to go quite how we'd originally anticipated. For example, we are now seeing that when it comes to cross-border payments, a lot of people are going with stablecoins. I don't like it. I would love XRP to be the bridge asset. Don't shoot the messenger. But that's just where we're going. They're looking to use stablecoins. That's just the truth of the matter. And so when you put this back to back with the post about David Schwartz saying that XRP is not likely to hit $50 to $100, that should show you that even with what he's saying here, he's not trying to make out like this guarantees XRP is going to go to $10,000. There's no way he's thinking that if he's telling you here, I don't think it's likely that XRP will hit $50 to $100. Now, let me just quickly say this. He's not saying it won't happen, because he does say that in the post. He's saying, look, I can't say for sure. He's saying, I don't think it's likely, but I can't say it's impossible. It's not impossible to happen. So he's not saying it definitely won't happen, but he's saying it's not likely. So if he's saying that about $50 to $100, you should know that he clearly does not think that XRP is going to go to $10,000. Now, I'll put this to you. You can either choose to believe the creator of XRP and the XRP ledger, or you can go and believe some random people on YouTube who live in their house, who have no ties to Ripple, who have no ties to any of the creators of XRP, and you can believe the conspiracy theories that they want to put to you about XRP going up to crazy numbers. It's up to you what you want to do. Me personally, I'm going with David Schwartz. I'm going with the guy who actually created the XRP ledger, who's being upfront and honest about it, who is not getting paid to do information about XRP or say it's going to go to $10,000. I'm going to go with that guy personally, over these guys who are doing these videos about XRP reaching these high numbers, and they get a whole load of views and money for doing so. Because there's clearly an incentive there. Clearly. So I respect David Schwartz that he keeps trying to address this, because it even says here, this isn't the first time he's addressed this. He has addressed it before. He's addressed it numerous times because I've covered it when he's addressed it. So I know he's addressed this numerous times. But I keep putting this out there because you still get people, influencers out here, still pushing these high price narratives. You still get them pushing the $10,000 stuff. But this is what I mean. Guys, you've got the creator here telling you what he thinks is likely, and that's nowhere near $10,000. So if you guys can accept the truth and just see what's right in front of you, you've got this guy here who created the XRP ledger and the XRP token. You've got him telling you here what he thinks. So yes, it would make payments more expensive at a low price. But this is the whole point. Like, look at what XRP is right now. So do you think that this is great for them at the moment? No. But you got to also understand that right now, XRP isn't performing at its maximum potential. Like, we haven't got all the banks using XRP, which again, I don't think is going to happen, all the banks. But let's just say, okay, we haven't got, let's just say 20% of banks using XRP at the moment. Like, we haven't got like huge institutions. You know, we've got like tokenization and stuff going on like that. But we haven't got, in terms of cross-border payments, them kind of volumes of money really going through the ledger at this point for it to really be, you know, at that level where it's like, okay, the price is going to, you know, need to increase and stuff like that. Organically, let me just say, not being fixed. Like, we're not at that point yet either. But this is the thing, like, we know at this point that, for example, Swift have partnered with Ethereum to do cross-border payments, and they're going to use stablecoins. That doesn't involve the XRP ledger at all. So there's not going to be this huge magical flip the switch event that people think, and then everybody's suddenly using XRP. I'm sorry to burst the bubble once again, guys, because I've done this numerous times, but I'm just trying to give you the reality. Like, this is the thing. I'm here just showing you the truth. I'm showing you posts from people like David Schwartz. I'm showing you data. I'm giving you like facts to show you like, this is what's likely. This is what's a lot more realistic and plausible than all this $10,000 stuff. And if you don't like me for it, okay, but it's the truth. I'm just giving you the truth. I'm an XRP holder. I would love this stuff to be true. I would love the whole $10,000 stuff to be 100% true. I would love it, but I've just got to be realistic. I've got to be honest. And it's just not. It's just not likely to happen. So on that, I have to just give you guys the reality, because I'm not here to just make money out of you guys. Like, obviously people watch. I appreciate that. But I'm not here trying to sell you guys a course. I'm not here trying to get you guys to, you know, get on my back and start supporting everything I do. Like, if you watch me, I appreciate it. But I'm just giving you the truth. Like, that's it. And unfortunately, the truth isn't this exciting thing. I'm sure everybody's going to want to watch all the $10,000 theories, because, of course, that's exciting. But it's just not. It's just not realistic, guys. I'm sorry. It's just not. So, yeah, once again, I just hope this has helped, because, believe it or not, as much as it might be hard to hear this kind of stuff, it is the truth. It is. And I hope that in time, this can be appreciated, because, like, look, I know I'll probably say this a lot, but I've had to take a huge blow to my channel to do this type of content. Like, you won't know. Like, you can see my channel now. It's not a big channel. Like, I'm probably never going to be a big channel. And I've had to take that on to make sure that I just give honest content out. That's what I've accepted. That's what I've taken on to say, you know what, I'm just going to push the truth. I'm not going to push out things that I don't believe. I'm just going to give you the truth and what's reality. And I've accepted that if my channel doesn't really grow from that, then okay, you know, that's just what it is. But like, to me, I sleep at night very soundly, knowing that I'm just pushing the truth and that I'm not knowingly misleading people. Like, not saying that I can't make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I'm always giving you everything that I can to give you as much truth as I possibly can. You know, so yeah, I'll leave it there, but I appreciate David Schwartz once again addressing this. I hope once again we can, you know, start to take this on board and start to face the reality of this situation rather than burying our heads in the sand. Well, I say that us, but I'm not doing that, but you know, some guys out there. And yeah, like, I hope this does get taken in well, like, and it's not a thing where people are going to start jumping on my back over it, because I'm not an XRP hater. I'm an XRP holder. Do you know what I mean? So I want XRP to do well, and I still believe it will do well. I do, but I just don't think it's going to do $10,000 well. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. But I still think XRP can be a good asset. I mean, for me personally, for when I got into XRP, I'm still in the green right now. Like, if I was to sell, I'm making a profit right now as it stands, because I got in quite early, but I believe it can go higher, so I'm not selling. So there's my conviction. Like, I do believe XRP is going to do well overall. I'm just a lot more grounded with my expectations. So I'll leave it there, but I hope this has helped. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.